Okay, we've been doing math ever since we stopped the last video.
Which has been, let me
I've got a
check
headache
the
now.
time, actually.
How do I have a headache?
Almost an hour.
Almost an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been a day.
No.
Anyway,
So yeah, we've been doing math for almost an hour.
and I have a headache. Math will do that to you. And we found some interesting things that we thought you'd like to know about what we talked about
And
yesterday.
I hope you remember the numbers because I don't.
We can make up some numbers.
Oh, okay.
Just make up numbers. So there was a little discrepancy on. The Bible says that the one who gathered the least of the quail gathered 10 homers. They were really good at baseball. So, yeah.
That's why they installed the mercy rule. It was because
Yeah,
some of the Hebrews hitting 10
you got
homers.
600,000 guys hitting 10 homers.
Yeah.
And that's. Are y'all missing baseball? Wait, it's because this is baseball season. So I'm sorry. Maybe it'll be back soon. Anyway, but there was a little discrepancy between sources, and I don't know what. One source says that a homer is 58 gallons dry.
Yeah. The other one's like, no, it's 30 something ounces.
46 ounces.
46 ounces.
So I'm sorry, but those are two very different numbers. Yes. We did the math on both of them, and we're tending to think, considering what God promised, that He was going to give them so much quail that it would be coming out their noses.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of quail. We tend to lean toward the first one because that's a bigger measurement, obviously. And we actually found a guy who had done some math that helped us out, so we didn't have to do all the math ourselves.
Thankfully.
And we hope that he's kind of right. Well, I mean, we double-checked some of them.
Yeah, we did.
But basically what we looked at is the average serving is 4 ounces, supposedly.
That's about how much meat is on one quail bird.
Yeah, about that. Actually, depending on
thighs and bones. And
we found one place that says some quail have 13 ounces, and I'm like, where are you getting your? But that's actually like the cleaned, all the insides taken out, the feathers all skin off, but ready. But that's still got some of the little bones. Of course, bird bones are pretty light. So, yeah. But they were like 4.5 ounces, something like that. So we did some math on those things, and what we found was, now the other thing we have to remember is there's 600,000 is the number of fighting men from the ages 20 up that could fight. Mm-hmm. So 20 up to maybe 60-ish we would say.
I think it's about in there.
Obviously you have people like Caleb who are still killing monsters at 80 and fighting giants and conquering mountains. But
you're always going to have those weirdos.
Yeah, always going to have a few outliers. But basically, we said that's the average family man probably then. If we assume, and this is assumption on their sizes of their families, you got a couple of kids, maybe 3. Because, let's be honest, they didn't have birth control. So 3 kids would not be unusual for an average. Some are going to be barren and not have children, but others are going to have 12, like, Jacob or something. So if you figured 3, so you got the man, you got his wife, and let's assume that one of them has an aging parent. Obviously the woman had 2 parents, the father had 2 parents. Average, we'd get to 6. So you're looking at there a possibility of 3.6 million people in this camp.
Yeah.
We pulled that down. We went with 2.4 million, which would be an average family size of 4, which I really think is kind of unlikely. Yeah. For it to have been that low. But
especially once you count in the older families who, the parents are about 40 and would be more likely to have more kids.
Yeah, you got people like me who have 5 kids. I have friends that have, so many kids. 9, 10. I stopped counting at some point, And then, of course, like you get other families, they're only going to have the one kid or some that won't have any. But on average, though, we went with the lower number. So we added that all up.
Yep.
And what we came up with was kind of fun that we averaged out if they had 4 servings per day or per meal per day and had 3 meals like we do,
Wait,
which
4 servings? 4 ounces.
4 ounce servings 3 times a day for 30 days. We just counted 30 days for a month.
Mhm.
And then we kind of compared that number with what the average American eats. And it was actually fairly close.
Yeah.
The average American eats is around 18 to 19 pounds of meat a month, which is actually a little under that 4 ounce.
That's per person.
Right. Because of course you figure, some people are going to have oatmeal or cereal for breakfast, so they didn't eat meat at that meal. Others may have bacon or eggs or whatever. And I guess I don't know if that counted like eggs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it said red meat and poultry, so it didn't count fish and stuff too. So, you add all that in. It's pretty close what they would have needed if they were going to eat that much. And now remember though, God said he was going to make it come out their noses. That's how much, just, oh yeah, we eat it. Oh, it's good. We don't get sick of it. He wants them to have so much they get sick of it. So we did the math on that. And what we found was that if we assume the homer is that bigger bushel size,
58 gallons.
yeah, 58 gallons,
58 gallons.
58 dry gallons.
Yep.
And the math that we've found on that was, and based on the size and density of a quail, and the guy went to, what was that guy's name? I could tell you so you could look it up yourself. I mean, the guy went, apparently airlines have used quail to test their engines for like getting hit by a bird. Yeah, and so
Wow.
they actually tested the density of a bird of the quail and all that. So he had all of the So he figured out.
I missed that part.
Oh yeah, it was all in the article that he
Okay.
wrote. Sutherland, I think, was his name. James Sutherland, something like that. Anyway, so he calculated then that based on that, 10 homers is 580 gallons. They could have put 1,900 little quails are little birds. They're not like chickens. They're small birds. Yeah, they're like a robin. Think robin.
Yeah.
That they could have put like 1,900 in those 10 homers, and that would have weighed. The average amount of meat on one of those birds is like 4 ounces, which is basically about a serving.
Yeah.
But that would have weighed 475 pounds. 475 pounds. So we added that up and multiplied that together with the 600,000 that went out. Now remember, not everybody went out. We assume only the 600,000 fighting men went out and gathered the birds, not all 2.4 million.
Yep.
And remember, that's the one that got the least amount.
Yes.
Now we figured, based on the 4 ounces per meal per day, and based on the 2.4 million, to feed meat to that many people at those amounts would have been right around 50 million.
Yes,
I think
54 million.
we found the American thing winds up being like 44 million. So we're actually under that a little bit.
44,400,000.
Yeah, but remember that doesn't include fish and eggs. This is just red meat and poultry. So anyway, so 50 million pounds is what they needed. We were guessing like 9 million, but that was with the 600,000. We were forgetting about their families. Oops, families don't eat. And then 27 million. That was just it. 50 million at least. 50 million pounds is what we calculated with that.
Yeah, 54 million pounds of meat. That's a lot.
So that's what but we calculated then the bushels times the 600,000. And so if they each got 475 pounds, each of those 600,000 guys, and some of them got more, we did the math on that one, and it didn't come out to 50 million. Remember, God said he wanted it to be coming out their noses.
Yeah.
He wanted them to be sick of it.
Yeah.
It did not even come out to 100 million pounds. That would be twice as much.
Do you remember what that one was?
It was 285 million pounds.
That sounds
almost 6 times as much as they needed.
Yeah.
Yes, by the end of the month, they would have been sick of quail.
Hmm. And
No doubt about it.
this video is basically just a
Oh
follow
yeah,
up to
it's
the
just
previous lesson.
we
It's
just
like,
we just wanted to blow your minds with
yeah, here's the power of God.
God promised.
Yeah.
Now where He found 285, and I don't how much was left laying on the ground that they didn't pick up. I mean,
Yeah.
but you think about how much the guy compared it to like 18 trash cans, like the big trash can. You get the 30-gallon black garbage bags that go in the big,
Mhm.
not the little kitchen garbage can, but the big outside garbage. Like 18 of those things full is what each one of these guys came home with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those of you who do bird hunting, you're pitiful. You need to work harder. You need to.
You need
When's
to
the
have
last
God
time?
on your
Yeah.
side.
If
But
God was bringing you
God,
birds,
give me some birds.
yeah. I mean, I can't even begin. I don't know if I've seen that many birds in my entire life. Much less.
I'm not sure if I want to see that many birds, especially at once.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm glad they were little birds and not like ostriches.
oh yes.
Can you imagine
Like
how
if you had
scary
that
that
many
would have been?
ostriches like
Run for
charging
your
us or
lives.
something, like you're gonna die.
But yeah, but God blew them all in so much, and I was wrong before too. Remember, I said I thought that it was like up to their knees
Mm-hmm.
all around the camp.
Nope, 3 feet deep.
3 feet deep, 2 cubits, up to their waist deep.
Yep,
So I underestimated on that one. I
lot of birds.
misremembered that. Lots and
You know
lots.
what we should have done?
Eaten some quail while we did this.
No, we should have done a comparison to see like that amount of meat, like what that would be in comparison to like cows, because I think Americans we're
we
more
think
familiar
about
with
beef.
cows and
Well, I mean, we
beef.
think about pounds of meat, though. I
Well,
mean,
that's true.
you've seen a 10-pound roll of hamburger that's like
Yes.
3 feet long and this big around. And,
Yeah.
so a big giant thing. I mean, so
It's a lot of
you
meat.
think about, I mean, like 40 of those is 400 pounds. I mean, you would fill up your freezer and then some.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of meat, and I mean, yeah, they ate a lot of meat.
They did.
I bet they were sick of it. But also, now some of them, they were so greedy at first and so hungry at first that they just went right in and started eating it. They didn't even. They ate it with the blood. They didn't drain the blood out. They didn't cook it right, and God got mad at them about that too.
Yeah.
I mean, so they were they're complaining, and then when God gives them what they want, then they just mess
Then they
that
abuse
up
it.
too. And,
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, so this was just a little sidetrack thing, just
Yeah.
to talk about the
This is
power of
our
God.
Abimelech for numbers.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, we needed something because Abimelech's not in Numbers, so we needed
he's not.
something. All right, so we'll get back on track with justice tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow we will be talking about justice.
So we'll see you next time. Hope this did just
Absolutely blew your mind.
because it did ours. I mean, just when we started thinking about how much is that?
Yeah.
Because you read in the Bible, each one gathered 10 homers, and you're like,
What on
what's
earth
a
is that?
homer? What's that mean? He got a 2-gallon Ziploc bag full.
Yeah, Dad was sending me numbers, and I was like, okay, what are we figuring out here? And I'd look at it, and I'm like,
that's a big number.
This one's gonna be big. I'm not even sure if I want to hit the equal sign on this one. Like that's gonna turn out to be scary.
Fun stuff. But it's and when you look into the Bible straight and you see, this is the kind of thing that makes Bible study fun to me. I mean,
Yes.
not doing the math necessarily because that gives you a headache.
Yeah.
But just finding this kind of stuff out and just like, wow, the power of God, and the fact that it's all recorded there for us, and we overlook so much of it.
We do.
We're just like, yeah, God gave them birds. They ate the birds. Big deal. No, way more than that.
God didn't just give them birds. God gave them birds.
And more birds.
And lots of other birds.
Yes.
All the same type of bird.
Yeah.
Which is probably part of why they got sick of it. But
yeah.
Anyway, sidetrack completed.
Yes.
Thank you for
back on track tomorrow.
Watching and dealing with our rambling.
Oh, but this is the fun.
it is fun
because we want you to have fun with Bible study.
Yeah.
Bible study should be fun.
And hope it did blow your mind. And hope you come back tomorrow to hear about justice. It's something that
We need a lot of
is a big
but
topic.
we don't want
currently.
too much of for ourselves.
No. So see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.